we're going to make the train body. I'm going to start by making this small rectangle that has a height of 0.875, a width of 2, and then I'm going to extrude it 5.5. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch, choose a plane, draw a rectangle that is 2 by 0.875. I'm going to finish that and then extrude it 5.5. Okay, so now I have the bottom of the train. Now I'm going to do this circle. The circle has a radius of 0.75. So I'm going to start a sketch here. I'm going to do a circle. I just don't want it to touch the rectangle. Since it had a radius of 0.75 and this is measuring diameter, I'm going to multiply that by 2. So it's 0.75 times 2. I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm going to dimension. I need it to be in the center. So a second ago I made this 2 wide, so I'm going to put 1. It would be the center. And then from the circle to the bottom of that rectangle, so from the center to the bottom, is 1.375. Now I'm going to finish, and I'm going to extrude that circle. And it goes all the way back to here, so it'd be 5.5 minus 1.75. It's going the wrong way, so I'm going to switch it. And if you notice, it's trying to cut it out, and so it switched this to a cut. I'm going to change it back to a join, so it's adding material, and I'm going to do 5.5 minus 1.75 and hit enter. So now we've got that circle there. Okay. Next thing I'm going to deal with is this shape on the back, which is essentially like a square with a arc on top. If I look how far it comes up, I'm going to do some math to get it to calculate that. So I'm going to rotate around to the back. I'm going to start a sketch here. Okay, then I'm going to rotate that so I'm looking at it the right way. It's going to do a line all the way from here over. Then it's going to come up. I think it's, I'm trying to do the math, 2.5 minus 0.875. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now that I look at this one, I'm a little worried that it didn't line up perfectly with that line on the bottom, so I'm going to delete it and try again. See how I get that green point? That's what I'm looking for. And it should line up with the one next to it, so it's good. Next thing I need to do is an arc. That's to get this shape up here. If you look at this picture, it tells you that this arc is 2.35. So I'm going to do an arc from here to here that is 2.35. Hit enter. Then I'm going to finish that sketch and extrude it back this way, and it is 1.75. So now I've got the overall body of my train, and it's looking good. Next thing I'm going to do is cut out this half circle in the back. If you look at this circle, it tells you that the radius is 0.5. It's 1.75 up and 0.25 from the side. So I'm going to do a sketch on the side. I'm going to do a circle. It told me the radius was 0.5, so again I'm going to do 0.5 times 2 because this is measuring diameter. I'm going to dimension from the center of that circle to the bottom is 1.75, and from the center of the circle to the edge is 0.25. Once I have those dimensioned, I'm going to finish, and I'm going to do an extrude, and this time I do want it to cut out the material, and this thing is 2 inches wide, so I'm going to extrude cut at 2. Alright, again, it's looking good. Come back to here. It looks like I need to do some holes up front. Those holes are defined by this. I'm going to go ahead and dimension them first. So I've got a point that is 0.375 away and 0.125 up. So I'm going to rotate around to the front, start a sketch here. I'm going to do a point here, 0.375, and then 0.125. I went ahead and dimensioned that one because now that I'm drawing another point over here, I already have that correct 0.125 height dimension. I won't have to do it again. 0.375. Okay. Then if I look at this last one, it's in the center, and it is up 0.625. So it automatically put it in the center for me. And the height from the bottom is 0.625. Okay. Now that I have my 3 points, I can do hole feature. So I'm going to go ahead and click hole without clicking on those. That way they're all highlighted. Okay, if I look at these holes, it tells me that the diameter is 0.125 and all 3 of them go in for 0.125. So they're just normal holes. They're not going to go all the way through. They're only going to go a certain distance, and that's going to be 0.125, and their diameter is also 0.125. Okay, and those 3 holes are there. Next thing I see are these 2 holes on the side. This 1/4 20 UNC tells me that they're threaded. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in here. It looks like they're 0.5 up. That first one's 1 in, so I'm starting a sketch on this side, doing a point. Said it was 1 over, and 0.5 up. Again, I went ahead and fully dimensioned that one. That way this 0.5, I won't have to deal with that again. So I can go ahead and click there. And it tells me that this one from the back is 4.5. So I'm going to dimension from there to the back is 4.5. Finish that. Go ahead and do those holes. This time they're threaded. And then I saw it said 1/4 20 UNC. 1/4 is 0.25. If you do that, it automatically makes it nice and threaded. I'm going to go ahead and check that it's threaded for the full depth. And then it tells me that that thread depth goes in 0.875. And it says 4 because there's 2 holes on this side and 2 more on the other side. So this should be 0.875. I can hit OK. I can do a couple things on the other side. I could draw them again over there and they'll pop up pretty easily, or if it's convenient, I could have tried to mirror them, but I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to do another sketch on this side. Okay. I'm going to do those points again. And if you notice, they pop up. So all you have to do is click when you get to the center of the circle on both of those and click. Then we can finish. We're going to do hole again. And the good news is, since you just did the dimensions for those, it's already saved right there. So you got that one. We are getting close. I think we're on the last thing, which is this hole up top. If you notice, when you try to do a hole on top of a cylinder, when you try to draw a point up there, it's really going to fight with you because it's a round surface. So if you drop down here, we've got some options for planes, which we can draw on. The one we're going to use is this one that says tangent to surface through a point. But the first thing I have to do is establish that point on the top of my circle. Okay? So all we're going to do is start a sketch on here. We're going to go ahead and put a point perfectly in the middle right there. See how it gives you that line? We're going to go ahead and click there. Now I'm finished because all I needed was that point, so that now I can come down here and do tangent to a surface through a point. Then all I have to do is click my surface, click my point, and now I have a plane. So now I can start a sketch on that plane. And again, I'm trying to do a hole, so I'm going to do a point. I'm just going to click on there for right now. And now if I look at that point, it is 0.875 back, and it's in the center. So I'm going to dimension from that front line to my point. Should be 0.875. And then I'm going to double check to make sure I got it perfectly in the center. I'm not quite there because the center would be right at 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put that at 1. I'm going to finish, do hole, Now let's look what it says about this hole. It says this hole has a diameter of 0.5 and goes down for 0.25. So I'm not threaded anymore, so I can go to regular hole. The depth, I believe, is 0.25, and the diameter is 0.5. Got to click my point, and now I've got the hole on top of the train. So if you look, I've got everything here. We're going to go down to the last picture, get this last hole. There's one on the back. So we're going to do another point. It's 0.375 up. It's in the middle. I'm going to do a sketch here. Do a point. Oh, that's nice because it's already in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and place that. And then it says it's 0.375 up. So let's dimension that. Finish it. Do a hole. And this one says it's 0.25 diameter down for 0.5. So we're going to just switch these numbers. So this one goes in for 0.5, but has a diameter of 0.25. We got to click that point to choose it, hit OK. So let's double check the directions one more time. It looks like I have everything up here. All those holes were drilled to a point. It does want you to round all edges to 0.1, except for where the drilled holes are. And you can't see it here, but if you come up and look at the picture, see how it's all kind of filleted off? So we're going to go and do that. So we're going to do fillet. Okay, and it says make that fillet a 0.1, so I'm going to get rid of all that, and then I'm just going to come around and click on all the edges. It said everything except for the holes, so just highlight all those lines. If you forget one, you can always go back and do it again. I think it's starting to look like I got them about all. There we go. Looks like I got them. So then I'll just hit apply. So there is my train body. Just save it. Thanks.